The last nurse on this list is called Gianna
Oh,
Hernandez.
you look like you stole
She actually
something.
stole from one of her patients. Her patient was called Helen Smith, and she suffered.
Yo, what's up guys? Prince Charming. Today we're gonna be checking out 10 nurses you won't believe actually exist. So nurses are the underdog of the hospitals. You know, you always have the doctors who have the big egos, but you don't have the unsung heroes. Nurses do a lot. I mean a lot. Like the things you think doctors do, nurses are really doing it. My mom's a nurse. I know exactly what she goes through. Like they do a lot of work, guys, so you have to show them respect. So make sure you hit me with that follow on YouNow right this second. I do streams where I call you guys, do gaming, anything at all. Make sure you follow me at Prince of Hawcom. Link in description below. Also, can you drop a like on this video? Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button right now this second. Like this video for your boy. Also, can you hit that subscribe and turn your post notifications on? Let's try to get to 100k. I haven't been at 100k. It's been a while, so make sure you subscribe. Lastly, go ahead and comment. Do you have any funny or bad hospital stories? I remember when I had to get stitches for the first time, and I had to go to the place where my mom worked. Oh, it was so embarrassing. It was so awkward explaining to her how I gasped my leg open and I need stitches. But enough talking. Make sure you go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and comment on that video. Let's check out these 10 nurses you won't believe actually exist.
So coming in at number 10, we have Sandy Sumulpong. So we're starting off this list with a bad nurse.
Sandy
now,
what?
He's a 26-year-old male nurse from California, and he actually molested children. So that basically makes him a paedophile nurse. He actually molested one of his victims 4 different times. When he was first caught, he lied and said he didn't do it, but he later admitted it. And he also admitted to doing the same to many other kids. He's now in custody and waiting for a sentence.
Yes!
I assume he's going to be in prison for a long time, maybe even life.
Throw away
and to be
the
honest,
key.
I know it sounds harsh, but he deserves it. I mean, nurses are supposed to help people, and raping them is doing the exact opposite. It's bad enough they're in hospital already, they probably have bills and a lot of stress, and to sexually assault them just does not help at all.
How are you gonna be a nurse and prey on little kids? Like, that's what I don't understand. You have all these pedophiles going into these, well, yeah, that kind of explains itself why they go into the fields with kids, because they're pedophiles. I hope they locked him up and threw away the key. Like I'm talking about, they threw that in a black hole so they can never open the door. Molesters and pedophiles have no sympathy in my book, none at all. And your name was, what was it? Some what? What was your name too? Like, I'm gonna roast you just for your name alone.
So coming up next is Daniela Poggiali. Now this is another bad nurse. I promise, guys, the next
You
one
look like
will be
you're
good.
evil.
But anyway, she's a 42-year-old Italian nurse, and she was looking after a patient called Rosa.
Where are your
Calderoni.
eyebrows?
But one night, all of a sudden, Rosa died of a potassium overdose. And no, she hadn't been eating loads of bananas. In fact, a police investigation found out that Daniela had injected it into her. Daniela admitted to doing it, and she said she did it because she was annoying. They later found out she did the same thing to 38 other patients. And when she was asked the reason for killing all of these people, she just said they were annoying. Her colleague described her as a cold person but eager to work. But in my opinion, she's just pure evil. And if you guys think I'm being harsh or don't believe me, here's a photo of her posing next to a dead woman's body. Now I don't know what kind of punishment or sentence she got, but whatever she got, it's not going to be bad enough.
She took a picture next to one of her victims. She takes pride in her killing, and she said it was because they're annoying. I mean, don't get me wrong. There'd be a lot of annoying people in my life that I would just love to get rid of. But you do not see me injecting them with potassium. You see, you handle your problems like an adult. You talk from person to person. You don't poison the person and then say, oh, they're annoying, so I killed them. What? You can't. That's not how you solve your problems.
So coming up next is a nurse named
Ooh, you're
Kai
fine.
She's arguably the world's sexiest nurse. See, I told you guys it would be a good one. So this nurse is unofficially the sexiest nurse in the world, as crowned by the internet. And if you guys don't believe me, she has almost 400,000
look at her followers.
She's based in New York and works as a nurse there part-time. She takes sexy but at the same time respectable photos of herself, her travels, and even though food photos are kind of lame, her food. She's actually really young and is still at university, studying medicine at New York University. Her photos get over 10,000 likes, which means she could be an Instagram model or just a regular model if she wanted to and make way more money. And she's had a lot of offers from companies asking her to do this, but she's chose not to. She wants to keep studying her passion, which is helping people. Wow, she's hot and kind-hearted. Kinda like someone else I know.
Oh, head ass. She had to be one of the baddest girls I have ever seen in my life. And the craziest part is the fact that she still would rather pursue medicine instead of just quitting her 9 to 5 or whatever and becoming a model. She didn't take the easy way out. She decided she's gonna stay in school. I'm still in school, guys. I could just drop out and do YouTube full time if I wanted to, but I value my education. I think it's good to have an education. I think it's always good to finish what you started. So I'm gonna get this degree even though I can very easily just drop out. So those type of people are like the best kind of people who are always true to themselves and don't just always take the easy ways out in life. But damn, y'all see that body? Damn!
So next up on this list is Nicolas Petrel. So in 2016,
Petrel,
this
that sounds familiar.
35-year-old male nurse was seen by his assistant holding up a 17-year-old girl's hospital gown and taking naked photos of her on his phone while she was unconscious. Obviously, the assistant quickly ran and made a criminal complaint. But by that time, the crime had already been committed and it was a little bit too late. The girl was being treated for alcohol poisoning and thankfully she survived that. But it must have been really fucked up to wake up and hear you basically got sexually assaulted when you were unconscious. Even worse is that he is, or at least was, a husband and a dad of 4 kids. And because that girl was 17, it's not just sexual assault but also paedophilia. He currently has a bond set at $15,000 and will likely serve a lot of jail time. He is seriously stupid to throw his life away like that. I mean, he already had a wife, kids, and even a really good job.
How stupid do you have to be to throw your life away like that? Over a couple of pictures, like, you do know porn exists. You can just go to porn websites, right? You do know this, right? I don't know why you would want to harass a little girl, like, come on.
Okay, so next up is a woman called Hadassah Perry. Now this story is so crazy it almost seems fake, but I assure you guys it's totally real. So a nurse called Hadassah Perry was looking after Hugette Clark, who happened to be one of the wealthiest women in the world. She was rich because she inherited $600 million when her parents died in 1925.
Wow.
Anyway, the nurse and Hugette Clark had little in common, but would spend up to 12 hours a day with each other, going on walks, talking, playing cards, and watching Hugette Clark's favorite, the Smurfs. And eventually, after 12 years, they became best friends. Hugette then died when she was 104 and left Hadassah almost $400 million. She'd already given Hadassah a bunch of gifts over the years, including $18 million. Now, I know it's sad that Hugette died, but it's awesome for Hadassah because she's a Filipino mum from a poor background and now she's a multi-millionaire. So yeah, Hugette basically made her the richest nurse to ever live.
Can you imagine getting $400 million from a rich person just because you're their best friend? Golly, $400 million going to a nurse with no relation at all. That is true connection right there. Like, they always say there's nothing better than family. I don't know if she had a family and she just neglected that. She most likely didn't have a family. The fact she gave $400 million to her best friend. That is so dope, guys. That doesn't mean you should just befriend rich people just in hope that they'll leave you in their will. But that is amazing. All that money just for being a nurse and a best friend. I need to get me a rich friend now, low key.
Next up is Nanik Adesina. Now this one is a little bit darker than the one before. He was actually arrested in 2014 for rape. He'd raped a 64-year-old woman who was one of his patients. Another staff member saw this and reported him immediately. And what's even more fucked up about this is that the patient had dementia and couldn't talk. I'm just glad another member of staff saw it so that justice could be served. And he deserves so much prison time for this because it's so disrespectful to abuse a senior citizen in any way, especially like this. Unfortunately, because his victim has dementia, it's really hard to get information out of her, meaning he might not actually get the maximum sentence because of lack of evidence. I just think it's so sad that someone would take advantage of someone like that.
A senior citizen, like, they're the nicest people ever. Well, I have my so-and-so's with senior citizens. Like, man, they drive slow. Come on, guys. Like, they drive slow, and they're a little impatient. Like, if they ask you a question and you don't really know that second, they get really angry at you. Like, I remember working at Fry's Electronics. I was a salesman. They'll ask me a question about something that was not even in my section, and I'll be like, oh, I can look that up for you. And they will get angry, like, don't you work here? Shouldn't you know this? Like, bro, get off of me. Just shouldn't you know this? You're the one looking for it. You should know it. No, but seriously, senior citizens, at the end of the day, they're most likely, as a whole, nice. And then we have this idiot going and abusing them, especially one with dementia. He's trying to cover his tracks. Shame on you, bro.
Next up is Mary Wiley. So in 2015, this 44-year-old nurse was caught stealing her patient's medication. And she worked in a mental health facility, so people really needed those pills. She said she stole the pills because it helped with her apparent ADHD, but many people think she took them to make money or even get high herself. And it's actually illegal to have those drugs without a prescription. So she was not only charged with stealing, but also with illegal drug use. She didn't actually end up going to jail. Instead, she went to a drug abusers clinic and was fined. And hopefully fired too. Just imagine the people freaking out and having all kinds of bad things happen to them because someone stole their pills. Some people in that facility even suffer from depression and may have suicidal thoughts. So it's really selfish and careless to steal the pills for your own gain.
She was definitely flipping bricks. Come on, guys. She said she used it for her ADHD. No, she was either getting high or selling that supply. Like, there is no other. She was making that money. Yeah, rake it up, yeah, bag it up. I don't know how that the song goes, but you know what song I'm talking about. Yeah.
Next up is Florence Whitney. Now this is one of the
you look
nicer
so
ones on
nice.
this list. She is the world's oldest nurse at 90 years old.
Aww.
She celebrated her 90th at the hospital she works at with her colleagues. She started work in that same hospital as a nurse when she was 70 years ago. She was born in 1925, meaning she's older than a lot of your guys' grandparents. Now this isn't as crazy as some of the ones in this list, but I found it very nice and interesting. Here's a really nice video I found of her celebrating her 90th birthday.
That's pretty cool.
I suggest you guys watch it because it's very heartwarming.
Oh, I'm over here clapping. 90 years old. She's the oldest nurse ever. Most people retire at like what, age 60, right? 60-ish? And then most people die around 70. So at 90 years old, she's still alive and she's still working. She's beating all the odds. Like, you that 1%. You that 1%, baby girl. I say baby girl like she's younger than me.
Next up is Crispiniana Domingo. In
I thought they were going to say crispy
this
donut.
51-year-old nurse was held on $300,000 bail after attacking an 8-month-old boy. The way she attacked him was that she hit him 3 times in the head to try and stop him from crying. And you may think that doesn't sound too bad, but when his parents found him, he couldn't move his left arm. And an x-ray later found out that he'd been fractured where he'd been hit. She may have wanted him to be quiet, but as a nurse, you should know how fragile an 8-month-old is. It took over a month for justice to be served because they thought the baby might have somehow injured itself by accident. But a scientific investigation proved he couldn't have hurt himself. Even if it didn't mean for it to be that bad, it's still pretty stupid to hit a baby.
Why are you gonna hit a baby? Like, it can't throw hands back. Only throw hands at somebody who can throw hands back. Pick on somebody your own size. Pick battles with somebody you can pick a battle with. You see all these people, criminals going after easy targets. Come after me and see if I'm an easy target. Throwing potatoes at you. Guys, I promise you I'm not a thug. I'm just real. I'm a savage, you know.
The last nurse on this list is called Gianna
Oh,
Hernandez.
you look like you stole
She actually
something.
stole from one of her patients. Her patient was called Helen Smith and she suffered from dementia, meaning she couldn't remember anything. She stole her credit card and made a few purchases at a local pharmacy. And Gianna was only caught when CCTV footage of her linked up with the spending history of the credit card. And she was probably going to buy more stuff with the card, but she was caught pretty soon after her first shop.
Yeah.
She was also found to have stolen the personal IDs of 20 other patients over her years of work who are now all dead. It's so messed up and unthinkable
finessing.
even to steal from someone who's sick, let alone someone who's actually dead. But this nurse thought it and did it.
Finessing. That is one of the ultimate finessing. She stole credit cards and IDs from people who are dead. That way that she can just run up that bill. She is... Oh gosh, like I don't know if I can say that's the grind because that's illegal and that's really messed up because you're racking up debt. But still, at the end of the day, get your coin, get your coin. But I am dead. I automatically said she looked like she stole something, and then immediately said she got caught stealing. Man, what is up with black people and stealing? Come on, guys, we gotta do better. That was it for this video, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, those were some of the nurses you don't believe actually exist. Some were good, some were bad, but at the end of the day, show respect to nurses because they do a lot of work. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on this video if you want to reply from yours truly, Prince Charming. My name is Prince of Hawkham. Stay charming, my friends.